Hello. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you are keeping really well. It's so great to be back with you this week. Today is essentially going to be one really large, cut out, laminatable, not sure that's a word, big permission slip for you because it is December and if you celebrate Christmas, we're approaching the big day. If you have kids at school, school is wrapping up rather quickly. It's all kind of building towards the end of the year, and it can be a really a hectic time for a lot of people. Other people, they might be winding down for holidays. But if you do have children, you have a family, and um, maybe you're traveling at this time of year, I'm going to give you a really big permission slip today that you can do with what you please. We're going to be talking about pressure and expectations. And you might think, oh, at the sound of that. But I promise you today, we're going to be getting it all out in the open. We're going to be writing ourselves out. Well, I'm going to be writing it for you. You can write your own. I'm going to be giving you a permission slip if that's what you need, because I think all year long, many people put such high expectations on themselves, but also there does fall a lot of pressure on people's shoulders at this time of the year. And like I said, it's moving towards the end of the year. Maybe things haven't turned out possibly the way that you thought they might have at the beginning of the year. Maybe you had a lot of things on your list that you wanted to go after and you wanted to achieve, and life happened. And maybe you didn't get to tick those things off this year, or there might be, I should have done this and I should have done that. And I could have done this, I could have done that. What if I had done that? And not turn that down that opportunity. So you name it. I think at this time of the year, we start to remember. A lot of us start to remember those things, reflect on those things. And yeah, it's like this build-up of pressure and expectations. Add to that the holidays coming up around Christmas if you celebrate it, school holidays if you have the kiddos. And it's just it can be a real recipe for burnout, overwhelm, and really feeling as though sometimes that this year didn't go your way, and next year will be better. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. So if you're feeling that, 100% I'm with you. And like I said, today we're going to be writing that big permission slip to take that pressure off of your shoulders, even if it's just for a few minutes every day, and seeing what a difference that can make leading to the end of this year. So one big thing, I just going back a few years when I had really little kids and they were little babies and toddlers, and this always really stood out to me as one of the absolute mintest, best piece of advice that I ever received as a parent. And it wasn't exactly practical, but you could apply it to essentially everything in life, and that's why I love it so much, and I always share it with, friends and families, new parents, and, even people that I've met that tell me about their young children, and but I really think it applies everywhere, and that is do what works until it doesn't work anymore, and then try something new and see how that works. If it works, stick with it. If not, try something new. And this, I think, is such a great, I guess you could call it a quote, but I love to live by this. And every single area of your life, it can apply, not just with kids and with family, but we know there's so much of that as the kids are growing up, right? And we're all just trying to figure it out. This family thing, this parenting thing, the kids, and then they get into school and there's all like those new experiences. But then also if you're looking at that with your other goals, so it might be goals that health related goals that you have, It might be maybe business related goals that you have. It might be your work and career goals that you have. So you name it, it works across the board. Do what works until it doesn't work anymore and then try something new. I absolutely love it. And I wanted to share it with you today as I'm putting it on this permission slip for you today as I'm writing it out right now. So let's talk about it. So as the maybe school holidays are coming, the holidays or Christmas is coming, uh, maybe some of us are traveling. Maybe you're hosting Christmas at your place for family or friends. Um, maybe your work, in your career, maybe that builds towards the end of the year rather than winds down. So you might be really coming into your busy phase of your working year. Uh, you might be trying to tie up loose ends before the following year if you're going to have a break. It's all happening. Maybe you're planning out Christmas presents, you name it, like all of these things. And I really think we don't give ourselves enough credit for this mental load at this time of year. And not just that, you might have stuff going on with your children that you're trying to figure out. You might have your own health concerns that you're trying to figure out. So you might have parents or elderly parents that you're caring for. We really don't give ourselves enough credit for this mental load that we carry that does build, I feel, for a lot of people towards the end of the year. Let me know how you're feeling at the moment, and do you feel this mental load as well? You can DM me on Instagram. I'll put all the details in the show notes. Uh, but yeah, like things like hosting. If you are having people over to your house, say Christmas Day, or you're having an early Christmas with family, whatever it is, right? We this mental load, the planning, the prep, as well as everything like normal that's going on in life. And, some people might call it first world problems, and sure, absolutely. It's also, I feel, not talked about enough. And how can we take this mental load and how can we take this pressure cooker that's kind of building within us, and how can we take these maybe really high expectations that many of us have of ourselves, especially? How can we take that kind of off of our shoulders for just a little bit of time, particularly at this time of year? And I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I found really, really helpful as all the things. I say recovering perfectionist. We've talked about that on the last episode. That's still creeping in. Uh, um, People pleasing, all these things. So, like, how can we take this load off of our shoulders for maybe 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day? And you might think, I don't have 20 minutes a day, Meg. Like, what are you talking about? I've got things to do. So how can we sort of fit these things into our day? And before we say that's just adding another thing to my day, because I get you, because I felt exactly the same. I hear you. Um, how can we make it so these things give us our energy back rather than adding another, maybe what looks like another chore or just another thing on the to-do list to tick off in a day? How can we integrate it? That's a better word. How can we integrate it into our days at the moment? And it not have to take like an hour or two. Or, some people might like getting their hair done or their nails done or something like that just to give back to themselves at this time of the year. And that's absolutely beautiful. Those things can take a little while, a little chunk out of your day. And absolutely, if that gives you that feeling of, oh, just take that pressure off. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm looking fine and, I'm ready to go for these holidays. Like, that is absolutely a win. I love that. Today, I'm going to share a couple of things that are quick, that are quite snappy. And I would love, love, love to hear from you and what you do at this time of the year. Anything, it might be, if it's making a cup of tea. Here at the moment, it's like 40 degrees. I don't feel like a cup of tea. But one of my absolute favorite things just to feel like I can take that pressure off, take that mental load off at this time of the year is like really, really simple. And, something I've learned this year is that, and I feel like I've been coming towards it for so many years, but not really believing that these are the things. Let me know if you agree, but like, it's the most simple things in life that are the most helpful, whether that is for maintaining your health, uh, in your work and career and like your habits every day. Like it really is the simple things that are the building blocks to help us feel good and live and thrive, right? So my one of my favorite things is, and you don't have to do anything you don't like to do, but if you're looking for some strategies at this time of the year, they might be worth a shot. Like take it or leave it if you want. But stretching, and before you're like, oh my God, I've never been able to reach my toes. This is not what it's about at all. Um, what I like to do is even if you just have 5 minutes to do this is brilliant. I love to do this once the kids are in bed. So nighttime, the kids are in bed. I've had dinner, blah, blah. We're just kind of winding down. And instead of just falling on the couch, which is also very, very nice, if you can do that as well, I plonk myself on the floor instead of on the couch. Um, and it's actually really just become a habit because I was like, right, I'm just going to do 5 minutes because something I've learned in doing it is that I feel really good after, but also while I'm doing it. I think stretching also like it forces us in some ways to connect back to our body, which is very potent when we have maybe been all day up in our heads, forward planning events, Christmas, like if you're hosting presents, school stuff, like if you've been up in your head all day at work, focusing on what I need to finish up before the end of the year, all of these things, stretching can really help you bring yourself back to the present, into your body, into your breath. And I find it really, really powerful. Doesn't have to be any particular stretch at all either. You can pick whatever you like. You can stretch your arms if you like. You can stretch your calf muscles. Like it can just be lot of, you can just do one lot of muscles or just your legs or whatever you want to do. One that I find is particularly helpful is like flat on the floor and just doing a really gentle rotation. So you've been one knee up towards your chest and then you're rotating that knee over to the opposite side. So it's resting near the floor. It's just a really nice rotation for your lower back and your middle back. Also your upper back as well and your shoulders. So it just forces me to breathe. I'm lying flat on the ground, which I'm sure has lots and lots of benefits. But it just like brings me back into my body. And I just do that. I just hold that stretch for maybe 30 seconds and then I do the other side. I find that really, really powerful. Another one that I love is stretching out the front of my hips, my hip flexors. So that's just a really simple one as well. If you are able to kneel, so you're kneeling, one knee down on the ground and you've got one foot up in front of you. You can just Google it. It's really simple. Hip flexor stretch. And then you're kind of leaning forward, stretching the front of your hips. And many of us work in jobs where we're at computers a lot of the day. You may not, but it does seem to be a thing for a lot of people is that we do spend a lot of time sitting, and this helps to reverse some tightness that you might gain in the front of your hips. So I also feel like stretching out your hips, there's just something about it. Like there's just something that forces me back into my body and to take deeper breaths. And again, I just do about 30 seconds on each side. If I'm feeling a little bit sore from training or whatever, I get the foam roller out, just roll around on that for a bit. But it literally can look like a couple of minutes, or I might find that I'm there for 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be any particular length of time. It's just a really, really helpful practice that I found for me, especially this year. And I wanted to share it with you. You can look up yoga stretches if you prefer doing that. So that is something as well. That's my kids, if you can hear them. So the second thing that I find really helpful, and again, it can be any time of day that you feel like it would give you the most energy. So some people are more morning people and they find it easy to fit in then. Some people are more afternoon, evening people. They find it easy to fit in then. Yeah, I'm just here. I'll be out in a sec. Yeah, okay. Thanks for asking. Slight interruption. We'll be back in 1 second. So the next thing is, again, like I said, they're really super simple things, and that is walking. And you might think, ugh, like walking, that's a bit boring. But like, I know I can go for a walk, but if you are looking for something and you're finding you're not able to, or you're feeling like you can't lift that mental load and that pressure and the expectations at the moment, I encourage you to give it a go. Literally, like walking outside for 5 minutes, walking outside for 10 minutes, go for half an hour if you've got half an hour. But the trick here with this type of walking is that you're not taking headphones, podcast, book. I love all those things. I do all those things. But when I need that mental break, no earpods, no AirPods, no phone. Well, I have my phone, but I don't listen to it. Reason being is it forces me to look up and also to actually take in what I'm seeing, versus sort of half looking, half listening. And here comes Miles. Yes. Go. Oh, wicked. I was going to record this early. Funnily enough, I was going to record this earlier in the day, and I didn't. We had all sorts on today. Anyway, you get that. So where was I? Yes, walking outside. No earpods, AirPods, whatever you got, headphones. No podcast, no book, no music, and you're like, what? It is a really nice way to tune out and relax. But this type of walking, if you can, it forces you to look up, it forces you to take in what's coming by and what's in front of you and the sounds around you. And there's just absolutely something about it that um, I feel like I breathe deeper. I feel like I notice more. I feel more just connected in general rather than up and in my head. Again, I think it's that whole coming back into your self and into your body versus being just living up in your head and what's to come and planning and organizing. So yeah, couple of things to have a go at. Like I said, so simple, super, super simple. And another popular one that you'll hear at the moment is meditation. And yes and no, like I use meditation at least a few times a week. Uh, I personally find that moving meditation, it might not be called that by the meditation experts, but like a type of moving meditation works better for me personally. And like, I guess what I'm talking about is a kind of moving meditation, stretching, walking without, music and books and people talking in your ears. And if you're listening to this on a walk at the moment, awesome. And if that really relaxes you and helps to take that pressure off, by all means, do it. Do whatever. What was it? Do what works until it doesn't work anymore, and then try something new. So if you're looking for that something new, try a little walk without anything in your ears and see how you feel when you get back. Just a couple of things that have helped me. So today, together, we are writing that really big permission slip that you can cut out, you can laminate, you can put it anywhere you like, literally or, figuratively, up to you. But it's about finding those little snippets in your day where you can take that pressure and expectations off your shoulders. Even if it's just for a few minutes, it is powerful, it is potent, and I know how hard it is when you're in the thick of feeling all that pressure and expectation, how tricky it is to come out of your head, essentially. Come out of your head, come out of your brain and back to you and back into your body. So yeah, if it's not working and you're feeling all of that at the moment, try something new and see if it helps. I would love to hear your favorite things to do that really help you to, I guess, yeah, that really help you to come back to you. There is a side note here that I wrote myself because this is something that and I still do, but it's something that I used to get sucked into all the time when I started feeling this way. And that is escaping from what I'm feeling. And I think it is completely understandable when things are going a bit crazy, this pressure's building, maybe these expectations that you had for yourself, you feel like you're not meeting them or you feel like you're failing, which is a horrible feeling, and you just wanna escape that. So things like TV series, even books to some degree, like, I'm a huge reader, and I find myself when I'm reading certain series that I'm, like, reading, and then I have to stop myself sometimes and be like, I feel like I'm always, like, trying to switch off and numb, like, and escape, and, each to their own. Absolutely, if that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do. Uh, but yeah, something that I found that I would do all the time, and now I'm finding that I am realizing when I'm doing it, like social media is another one, right? Doom scrolling, like they say, when you're feeling a bit overcooked, overwhelmed, and like just scrolling and scrolling. What we're often doing is we're trying to escape what's going on up here with distraction. And what I found is that wasn't working for me anymore. I was feeling even more shit after doing it, essentially, which is how I kinda started doing these other things where it was, "Okay, let's try a walk without listening to anything and just seeing how I feel." Stretching, and, sometimes the TV's on because hubby's watching it or whatever. I'm not really watching it, I'm kinda just doing it, and even that is enough sometimes just to help me bring me back into my body. Yeah, just moving. So you might find if you've tried meditation and you're like, "It's not for me, it never works." This was me before. It never works. I just can't turn my thoughts off. Maybe you could even try a moving meditation, something like a walk, like I said, or stretching, and just see how it feels. But you don't have to do anything, or you can try something else. And I love hearing what helps you. So make sure you share it with me over on Instagram. I would love to hear it. Because I'm always looking, and maybe you are too, like, I'm always looking for these little tools that we can have in our toolbox when stuff gets a bit hectic or when we're trying to achieve maybe something new that we've never done before. And we're starting to get all up in the head about it. Or maybe you are wondering why you keep working towards something, but you can't seem to achieve it, maybe year after year. Gosh, that's frustrating. If you've ever felt that, let me know. Um, but yes, if you're feeling the pressure, you're feeling the weight of expectation, whether it's your own or you feel like it's from others, um, do know that I feel you, and I'm sure there are a lot of people at the moment that are feeling it too. And sometimes just taking a moment to come back to you, um, which, at this time of year, it's hard, and not only feeling like you have to try and fit something else in, but remembering, yeah, remembering to even try these things is tricky. So this is a reminder for you. I don't know about you, but my Google Calendar looks like, yeah, I got stuff going all day, going off on there all day, either on my phone or on the bloody Google Home. Um, but I set reminders because, yeah, it's all happening. And I know that if I can take those 5 minutes, that I sleep better, I get to sleep quicker. Um, I kind of tune back in and realize, actually all is quite well. Um, in the big scheme of things, it helps to bring me from my little world in my head out to the big picture, which is really, really helpful. Um, yeah, like I said, I would love to hear what you do at this time of year, especially. And do know that you're not alone. And these feelings are so, 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 so common. Ah, let's take that permission slip, gift it to yourself, put a reminder in your phone, try some walking, try some stretching, try something. If everything else isn't working, try something new. Yeah. But that's just what I wanted to share with you today because, yeah, I've been feeling some of those things and I've had to remind myself. And I thought, well, if I'm having to remind myself, then maybe someone else might need to hear this message today. And it might just be something that helps you get through the day feeling a bit better and, yeah, taking a little breather and a 5 minutes and taking those expectations and that pressure off of your shoulders for a few minutes every day. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I will talk to you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.